So, today we are going to be talking about female friendships and how it is actually quite hard to maintain. And in between the video, I'm definitely going to be talking about my own personal experience, most especially in high school, because after my experience in high school, as regards female friendships, to be honest, I don't know the word to use for it, but I just stopped being like a big fan of it because of the kind of experience that I had. But I mean, at the end of the day, we do know that there are still good people that have really good female friendships. But that's by the way. Let's just get right into the video. Okay, the first thing that we're going to talk about is the poison of jealousy. Yes, I remember when I was in high school, I used to have a best friend at that time who was at the end of the day my ally, the worst ally I could have ever thought of, and I never knew. Right, whereby I didn't know that she was jealous of the fact that had this certain fame in the school because, okay, I sing. I do sing and I sing really, really well. Okay, I sing really, really well. And at that time, when I got into, like, we call it JSS1, like junior school, that's what we call it in Nigeria. And that time, seniors would call me to their room to come and sing for them because I remember I joined the choir in our chapel, and that's when people now knew that, oh, I could sing. And then there's this thing that we used to do, which is he I'm trying to remember the name, but you, except from testimonies where you come and share your testimonies and what the Lord has done for you, you have there's this other thing that we used to do whereby you can come and sing like a gospel song, like just referencing to what the Lord has done for you. You could also do that. And when people now knew that I could sing and I could sing really well, like seniors would call me to their room to sing songs for them, and that's how I really became popular in school, like even in classes above me. Like I just said, seniors come here and sing. So as time went by, I now, like, me and some of my other classmates now formed a group where we would, like, do a cover of a secular song and Christianize it, which now that I know better, it does not make any sense. But yeah, that's what we would do at the time. And then we will now come out and, like, present it, like, to perform and sing. And then people, for some reason, people always thought that I was the leader of the group. And then the funny thing is I never even knew that people saw me that way, to be honest. And in as much as I I actually, like, had a bossy kind of character, which later on I had to work on, it still doesn't make sense to me why they would think that I was the leader, like, to me. But yeah, I had, let's say, I had like a level, or I was seen at a particular level, and this was someone that I cherished as my best friend. Right, there were times that I would fight for her. Like, there were even be times where I almost went physical for this young lady, and I didn't know that she was jealous of not just, let's say, the fame that I had in school, but even my body. Because I remember there was this one time, right, whereby we were in the dining hall and we were done eating, and I don't even know how the conversation even started, but we were just talking about, I think, body type. And then she was now comparing my body to her body, and she was now saying that, oh, that's me, at least I have a big bum, that, or at least I have ass, whatever. And her own is small. And I was just looking at her, like, I didn't even respond. I was just looking at her in my mind. I was like, what in the world is going on here? Because to me, she had a very nice figure. Like, in as much as her own body shape is not the hourglass, like they tell people or ladies today that you must have, she had more of a bigger up and then a slender down, but she still had an ass, but her upper side was bigger, which is, I think, which shape do they call it? I think inverted triangle. That's the name of the shape that they call it. And she is beautiful. I was surprised that she even said what she said, but I just ignored it. As time went by, when we got into we call it JS3. That is the last junior class before you enter senior school, before you enter senior school. So that's when a lot of things began to unfold, right? Whereby apparently they planned, because normally I would come back 2 weeks after school has resumed, and that was because of fees, right? So I didn't know I didn't know that these people, like she and the other people that were in the group, like the singing group, and these were also my friends. I didn't know that they had planned for me ahead. That when I come, that she should, act very excited, like, oh, Isha, welcome, blah blah blah. And then the rest, like all of them, not just her, all of them, they will welcome me. And then after that, they will now just stay away from me and avoid me and make me to be look as though I'm lonely. And God always being gracious and kind. At that when I because I came late, so they put me in another room, and amazingly, and I became friends with one of them, like one of my roommates, which was also my classmate as well. So Anna became close to her, and she too, she's a lover of music. Like, I mean, in junior school, like our first class, we there were times where we would vibe together, where she comes to my room and we would vibe together and sing. But at the point, her roommates and my roommates, they had a serious issue, so we never really became close at that time. But this time, we now became really close, and I didn't even notice whatever in the world that they planned. It was later on, after time, one of them now came and now met me. I was innocent me. I was just waiting outside our hostel for the siren to ring for us to go for lunch. And I was just waiting there. And the next thing, she just walked up to me and she was like, "Do you know why you are lonely?" And I'm like, "Eh? Like, what is this one? What is this one saying?" And I was just looking at her like, "I don't know what you are talking about. Like, I don't know what you mean." And that was when she now started saying all the things, like the plan and everything that they had been saying about me, blah blah blah. And I mean, in as much as I didn't necessarily see her as an angel, because the thing about gossip is that there's always going to be a Judas Iscariot that's going to betray you guys. Someone that's going to leave that place and go and tell the person that you guys were gossiping about what you guys said. And sometimes they won't even say what they said against you as well, while they were gossiping about you. So they'll make themselves look like they're this angel of God that is actually on your side, blah blah blah. But no, they're literally one of them. They just, I don't know, they're just betrayers. That's literally what you can use to explain them. They're just betrayers, to be honest. But yeah, and in us, and the only to be honest, the only reason why as time went by, I actually took her to be my friend. And we'll get there, because there's something I was about to say right now. The only reason why I took her to be my friend, because I love the fact that she was courageous enough to tell me about the parts of myself that I needed to change, which is my bossy side. Because the kind of home that I come from, right, when I was little, I always got what I wanted. When I said I wanted this, I would get it. When I say, please, I want this done, it was all things always went my way. That was how I grew up. So when I came into boarding school, I thought things are going to be like that. Not me not knowing that people come from different backgrounds, and in general, why am I being bossy? Like, excuse you. But yeah, it was when she now started telling me some of the things that they said, and she also said the things that she also said. I was like, oh, okay. And I now took time to also review like moments in my head, like how I have been relating with people, like all these people around me, and if what she's actually saying is actually true. Because during that time, that was when I really began to take my relationship with the Holy Spirit seriously and focus on like self development, like just to grow and to do better. And I didn't honestly want to have any issue with anybody, to be honest. So when I began to review everything, I was not like, oh, okay, I've actually been really bossy and be acting as though I am the one that is paying these people's school fees and whatever. Like everyone should bow before me and all this kind of thing. So I started like being very self conscious and like working on myself deliberately. So after a while, that's when these people now started coming closer to me, and they now wanted to be like they just wanted to be closer to me now, because now they saw that I'm not affected by whatever it is that they thought that I would be lonely and I won't have friends, blah blah blah. And apparently, that my so-called best friend was not jealous that I was close with another person, with the person that I were in the same room, because now it was almost as though we were now besties, and she was outside. And I'm like, in as much as technically I would always say she's my best friend, but I was close to the other person. She now, started coming closer, but it got to a point where I had processed everything, to be honest. And I was now just like, okay, let's all come together and just have a conversation about different things. Say your own, what you don't like, what I mean I've done to you, let me apologize, stuff like that. And at the ending of the conversation, at the end of the conversation, I now just told her that I don't want to be your best friend anymore because of the things that I've heard that you have said about me behind my back, things that you have most especially things that she has said about me behind my back, like different things, and even some things that she has even said to my face that I just ignored because of how much I loved her and took her as my sister. Because when you really love someone, like, love is really a decision. Like, there are so many things that you would overlook when you actually choose to love someone. Most times, like, to be honest, there are so many things that you overlook, and there's so many things that I did overlook, to be honest. Excuse me. So when I now finally told her I don't want to be her friend anymore, guess what? She now started crying that, oh, Yesha, I will change, Yesha, I will change, blah blah blah. And I told her that, look, I've honestly made up my mind. And then everybody was now surrounding her and was now, petting her and telling her she should stop crying, blah blah blah. And I'm just looking at them like, so me that was hurt by all the things that have happened, I'm what? Rock. I don't have feelings, right? And I mean, along the lane, some senior students got to care about it, that that was in my business. We shouldn't have been in my business because why can't you mind your business? But yeah, they said I should take her back as my best friend. I see how she's crying, blah blah blah. And I still stood my ground, to be honest. I still stood my ground and I said no. I don't want to be best friends with this girl anymore. We can be friends, but I don't want to be her best friend anymore. I don't want that label to be between me. I don't want to label her as my best friend anymore because she really isn't. She really isn't. And guess what? Guess what, guys? After I still stood when I still stood my ground, few days or few weeks, there was an uproar at our hostel backyard where we normally spread clothes, and where my room was, right, I can I can hear what they're saying. So I could hear my friend, like my friend that was now, we're now like besties, like very close to each other. I could hear her like shouting my name. I hear her calling my name, and I'm looking outside and I'm wondering what in the world is going on. Then I look and I saw them, and I'm like, okay, I just thought that they're having an issue with each other because she honestly did not like that my ex best friend. So I just ignored it. It was when she now came into the room, that's when she now told me that what they were saying, what's all this that they were saying, and how she defended me, blah blah blah. So that was the first time I ever confronted her and was like, okay, I heard that this is what you said, blah blah blah. Like, why did you say all these things? And you needed to see how this girl was looking at me because she was already in her like on her bed and everything, and she was just sitting on her bed like as I was talking to her. And I'm like, why are you eyeing me? Like, I'm talking to you. That when that thing happened, I knew for sure that I made the best decision to cut that girl off. I made the best decision to not associate with her as my best friend. And I mean, thankfully, by the time we got into senior school, she had left the school to go to another school. And it's not as if I hate her, and but like, these are lessons, these are things that happen to teach me some very interesting things. But yeah, the poison of jealousy is one thing that really affects female friendships, to be honest. Because, like, what are you even jealous for? Like, if you see there's something in someone else's life that you don't have, like, sometimes it could be material things, you could actually work to get those things. And sometimes your friend it could be so generous that if you ask, she could give it to you and it's not a big deal. But some people, you are just very interesting individuals, very interesting individuals. And when I if we go back to that scene where she was comparing my body and her body, it will lead us into the poison of insecurities. Because some of you have insecurities that your friend literally has no business with that. It is not her fault that she has the body that she has. It is not her fault that she is as pretty as she is. That is absolutely not her fault. And if you have an issue with that, that is your problem. It is not her problem. And only God knows why you don't see yourself as beautiful. Only God knows why you are not taking your time to build your self esteem and your self confidence. Only God knows why. And I guess plus you. But the poison of insecurities is another thing that really affects female friendships. And specifically when it comes to even body type or how you look. Whether it's your face, whether it's your body shape. Like you on your own, build that self confidence, build your self esteem. Stop hating on your friend just because she has a nice body. And do you know the funny thing is that sometimes even though your friend has a nice body, she also has insecurities. Maybe someone has told her that her nose is too big. Maybe someone has told her that her ear is too big, or maybe someone has told her that her mouth is too big or too small, or her eye is like this. So even she herself could have security insecurities, and most of the time, yeah, the insecurities are there. So it's like you are just so self-centered and poisoned by your insecurities that you now become a very horrible person. Whereby I know this, there's this thing that I began to brood on, whereby I'm never going to tell people like certain things. Like, yeah, let me give this example. Like there was this one time. No, I'll give two scenarios. When I finished high school, right, I was talking to a friend, and I was just talking about how I never want to meet a good amount of people in my high school ever, like ever again. Like there are a lot of memories that I don't want to remember, and a good amount of them are associated with those memories because I mean they were in my aeon at that time, they were in my world at that time. And I was like, oh, I had a lot of haters. And then he goes, yeah, you had a lot of haters. And I'm like, why did you have to say that? Why did you have to repeat that? Why did you have to say that? It's almost as though I don't know whether the word is passive aggressiveness. I don't even know. Another time again, I was with another friend of mine. This is recently where we were in the shop, and there's this particular biscuit that I like. And some of my colleagues around me, they're like, by the way, I like the biscuit. And funny enough, when they eat the biscuit is actually nice, but they just always make me look like I'm like they always just sound as though I'm weird for liking the biscuits, but when I give them, they'll eat that and they'll say it's nice, it's actually nice, it's actually nice. So I was not just telling her that that this is actually nice. That I don't know why people think like some people they think I'm weird for liking the biscuits, and then she goes, "Well, you're actually weird, Sha." And I'm like, "What?" I love her regardless, but I know I don't I pick certain moments because the dots connect over time. So I pick certain moments. It's not like I don't like trust you and I'm waiting for you to follow. But I there are some things I'm very self aware. So there's some things that most of the time when people say some certain things, I can pick it. And then I'm like, hmm, very interesting. Because you never know. Over time you there could be something bigger that could happen and then you now realize that okay, 1 2 3 4 5, those dots they match, they click, they connect. Makes sense why you're doing this right now. Feel me? But like learn to deal with your insecurities because your friend is not responsible for the fact that you have insecurities, and she has her own insecurities that she's even dealing with, like to build her own self-confidence as regards those insecurities. She does, and that's the truth. And the next thing is this particular thing that is more profound now with Gen Zs, and mind you, I'm a Gen Z, and which is the the art of ghosting. There have been so many times I've watched videos of not just the ones that some YouTubers have made as regards this particular thing, but even YouTube, even TikTok videos I've seen as regards this thing, where a human being will just come online and tell you that, oh, if you do these 5 things, or if your friend does these 5 things, ghost her, cut her off, just like that, stop the communication, just like that. And I'm like, Why? Like, what is now the use of communication or letting people know you are not okay with certain things? And that's why a good amount of you are actually very, you are friendless right now. In as much, I'm not someone that has a lot of friends. To be honest, I'm not someone that has a lot of friends. I have a quite number of acquaintances and colleagues, but when as regards friends, they're not that much in my life. To be honest, they're not that much. But like, yeah, like some of you, like someone just did something, and then instead of you to like communicate with the person and tell the person that, oh, I don't like what you did, you just ghost the person just like that. Like you just cease communication. And I'm just wondering, what is wrong with you? Like for real, what is wrong with you? You can't just, I mean, you can because it is in your power, but like, except if it's a situation whereby you have said it once, you've said it twice. Well, still for me, I may not honestly just cut off and just ghost you just like that. I'll most likely communicate with you like, oh, you did this thing again, and I don't get why you're doing it again. And then when I see your reaction, like, oh, I don't care, whatever, that's when I will know that, okay, after this, whatever, this scene, I'm not speaking to you ever again. Like, no communication. But like when the person does something, and sometimes, and the thing is that as long as there are people on this earth and you have to deal with people, there will always be offenses. There will always be times where someone will offend you. And sometimes the person may not even know. Sometimes the person may be even cracking a joke, but they don't know that to you, that joke is expensive. And that's why you need to talk to the person. That's why you need to communicate and tell the person that, oh, this thing that you said, I know that you are joking, but to be honest, I'm not cool with it. I didn't like it. I didn't feel good when you did this. I think I have every right to say this because this is something that I personally do. Okay, there's this amazing sister of mine. Yeah, we are sisters, whereby she normally would like say things like, oh, you short girl, or talk about my height or make fun about my height because I am not tall. I'm like maybe let's say 5'2", or yeah. And usually um I would just like, you know, throw it off or ignore it. But I figured out that whenever she does it, I don't like it because every single time, like for as long as I can remember, people are always yabbing me about my height, my height, my height. And sometimes I'm like, even in that circle, I'm not even the shortest person. So I'm like, why are you guys making it look like it's a big deal? Haven't you seen short people before? So I know one day I just told her that I want to talk to her, and then I, went into a different room with her, and I told her like, okay, I want to talk with to you about something. And then I told her that I know you're being playful because I know you to a certain extent, and you are a very playful person. But as regards this thing about always joking about my height, I don't like it. To be honest, I don't like it. Like I always feel there's a sting that happens from within whenever you do that. Because I'm not even the only short person that you know. And and sometimes I'm around all these other people, and I'm not the only short person. But yes, I'm the one that's being attacked, as though it's a big deal. When there are even people that are even shorter than me, safe. So I communicated that with her, and ever since then, it stopped. So instead of you just ghosting someone, why not just communicate? And now this is now going to lead us into something else that is called the discomfort of confrontation. As when it comes to ladies, the discomfort of confrontation, and you know just the lack of communication, like I said before. As ladies, to be honest, I know this because I'm a lady and I deal with ladies a lot. We don't really like being confronted. We don't really like being confronted, and that's the truth. But if you want your relationship with someone to grow, you need to learn how to have those hard conversations, because that's the only way things are going to get better. You need to start being comfortable with having those hard conversations. Because if you never have those hard conversations, people are going to keep on hurting you, and people are going to keep on offending you. And it's only people that are offended that offend other people. Imagine this, right? Imagine this. Let's say someone insults me about, like, they yab me again about my height. And then I know that this person also has a certain insecurity. Maybe they are not, maybe their ear or maybe their head is, bigger than the rest of their body, because there are people like that. And then they throw a shot at me, and now I'm offended. And then I throw the shot back at them. Why was I able to do that? Because I'm offended now. So now I'm like, yes, I'm going to hurt you back. So it's only hurt people that hurt other people. It's only offended people that offend other people. So how about you just have those hard conversations? Whereby you know you're not comfortable with something when someone does something. How about you just pull the person to the side and communicate that thing to the person? And that is even when you do that, that is even when you know that you even want to even keep this person as your friend, or you just let the person go, and then you'll be like, okay, I'm cutting you off. I don't want to have this friendship anymore. The way they'll respond, if they're like, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know that you felt that way. Okay, I'm not going to do that again. And then they become extra conscious, because there's some people that they are very, very playful, and sometimes they could want to do it again, and then they hold themselves back, because now they remember that, oh, she's not cool with this when I say this, and then they stop. And then there's some people that when you tell them, they're like, who cares, like, blah blah blah, they just play it off, and then they do it again. Now those are the ones that you shouldn't have any business with. But don't rob yourself from having beautiful, blissful friendships with certain people, because you are a VIP in ghosting people, and you can't deal with the discomfort that comes with having certain conversations. And to be honest, the next one is the fact that the good friend that you are looking for, embody that person. And God would definitely do his best. He's more than the best. He will do his own side of the job to bring people towards you that would be the right, that would, like, embody that same thing as well, those qualities that you want in a good friend. He will bring those people into your life. I mean, in as much as there are times that God actually brings horrible people into your life to help mold your character. To be honest, they help mold your character, because there are certain parts of you that you never knew existed until you have to deal with certain people in certain situations. It's crazy. It's a crazy thing to think about, but it's true. There's some certain traits of you that you will never know that you had, or you could ever even express, until you have to deal with certain people. That's why you know that, so I can get angry like this, or I can insult someone like this. Then you will now be like, oh no, I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't allow myself to go this far, no matter what anyone says or anyone does. I shouldn't allow myself to go this far. I should just ignore and just move past such people. So there are times that God will deliberately bring in such people into your life to help to mold your character. But apart from that, that good friend that you're looking for, embody all the qualities of that good friend that you're looking for, because that person will also want to um that person that is going to be a good friend to you will also like for you to embody those qualities of a good friend. So right now, guys, I'm actually in a class, and this is actually just me seeing the end of the video, because apparently my mic went off while I was concluding the video. So I just figured it out right now while I was editing, and I was like, I just have to do another video of the conclusion. So literally, that's just all I had to say, and I hope you learned something from it. And if you have a few thoughts, please do drop it, like, in the comment section. And yeah, thank you so much for watching the video. Please do like, share, and subscribe for more videos, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.